For the first time in my adult life, US soccer is actually on the verge of recruiting one of the most exciting young strikers in all of Europe. 21-year-old Folarin Balogun currently boasts one of the highest goal tallies in Ligue 1, only behind Jonathan David and Kylian Mbappe. The Brooklyn-born talent has been flirting with the US national team for the last few weeks after seemingly falling out with the English national setup. And the hype around this kid is spreading like wildfire, but who is he? And why doesn't England want him? And I might just be a little bit biased, but today I make the case for why Folarin Balogun and US soccer need each other. Welcome back, guys. You're watching the Sideline Starters, and my name is Andy, first team all sideline. Drop a like if you want to see Balogun repping the USA and if you want to help the channel grow. And now that you've done that, let's get started. Now, America has always been able to produce amazing goalkeepers, and I honestly think that we're currently looking at the best midfield this country has ever seen. But with that being said, the US has never produced a world-class striker in their entire history. And while we have legends that took US soccer to the next level, they never made a consistent impact in Europe. We pinned all our hopes on Christian Pulisic, and while he's delivered for the red, white, and blue for the most part, he's a winger, not a striker. Since 2012, our number 9 position has been a revolving door of average to mediocre players, with the likes of Josie Altidore, Aaron Johansson, Bobby Wood, and Chris Wondolowski all leading the line at some point. We've been absolutely desperate for a striker, and the greatest evidence of that was our World Cup campaign in Qatar. The US only scored 3 goals in 4 matches, with only one of them coming from our uninspiring group of number 9s. Jordan Morris is 28 with 2 torn ACLs under his belt. Jesus Ferreira is 22 and hasn't left the MLS yet, while Haji Wright is just an Altidore regen. The only 2 promising strikers that we have, Jordan Pefok and Ricardo Pepi, didn't even make the plane, which means that US soccer has their eyes set somewhere else. Enter Folarin Balogun. The 21-year-old talent was born in Brooklyn on July 3, 2001, but moved to England at the age of 2. He would join the Arsenal Youth Academy by the time he was 8 years old and signed his first professional contract in 2019. The teenager would score 13 goals in 11 appearances for Arsenal's under-23s before being loaned out to Middlesbrough for the second half of the 2021-22 season. Arsenal weren't ready to promote him to the first team just yet, so they loaned him out to Ligue 1 side Stade de Reims. And that's when Balogun exploded. He scored on his debut for his new club and hasn't looked back since, scoring 17 league goals and assisting twice in 28 league appearances, only behind Leo's Jonathan David and PSG's Kylian Mbappe on the Ligue 1 scoring table. He possesses incredible pace along with positional awareness well beyond his years and impressive confidence in front of the goal. And the most exciting part about all of this is that he's actually underperforming his underlying numbers. Flo has scored 17 league goals from an expected goal output of 18.5, meaning that his finishing still has plenty of room for improvement, and that Balogun isn't even close to reaching his final form yet. And despite his underperformance, he still ranks in the 91st percentile for goals per 90 amongst forwards in the top 5 leagues, 89th for total shots on target, and 86th for carries into the penalty area. But don't take it from me, Balogun's talent has impressed legends of the game, with former Arsenal invincible Martin Keown saying, "You try to compare, is it Andy Cole or Ian Wright? There is that sort of movement about him." And it's that kind of movement that America needs. We've never had an Andy Cole, and we've definitely never had an Ian Wright. Guys, we've never even had a striker come close to being the top scorer of a top 5 league until potentially right now. Balogun has the chance to change that as we wait for him to decide what country he chooses to represent internationally. And even though he would automatically become our most promising player on the entire roster, Balogun's international options have left him needing us just as much as we need him. While Flo is a New York native, he was raised in London and developed by English football. So naturally, he's always wanted to represent the 3 Lions on the world stage. Unfortunately for him, there's about 3 to 4 other English strikers ahead of him on the pecking order. Obviously, there's England's top goal scorer Harry Kane leading the line as their number 1 striking option. Now, I'd personally have Tammy Abraham as England's number 2, but totally understand the case for Ivan Toney taking the spot instead. And if for whatever reason you don't like those 3 quality options as striker, you could always try playing Marcus Rashford as a number 9 given the fact that he finally turned into a Super Saiyan this year. Balogun is clearly talented and has had an amazing season so far, but he simply isn't starting over any of England's established strikers. A sentiment echoed by the English FA this spring, as Flo wasn't called up for England's Euro qualifiers against Italy and Ukraine in March. And Balogun took it personally, posting a cryptic story on Instagram afterwards, saying, "In life, go where you're appreciated." Apart from England, Balogun is also eligible to play for the Nigerian national team, as both his parents were born there. In an interview with BBC Africa last October, he expressed, "I haven't heard anything from Nigeria, but I'm open to anything because Nigeria is very close to my heart." Now, the reason he probably hasn't heard back from them is because Nigeria currently have their hands full with arguably the best African strikers since the days of Didier Drogba and Samuel Eto'o. I'm of course talking about Napoli's Victor Osimhen. The 24-year-old is destroying the Serie A this year and is the top scorer of the league by some distance, and barring complete disaster will likely be leading Napoli to their first Scudetto since Diego Maradona won it in 1990. And right behind him on Nigeria's depth chart is Ademola Lookman, another Serie A striker who's really impressed for Atalanta this season, scoring 13 and assisting 5 in 27 appearances. And while that's less goals than Balogun, many would argue that the quality of Serie A defenders is objectively higher than defenders in Ligue 1. And Lookman offers passing ability and creativity that Balogun simply doesn't have yet. And who can blame him honestly? The kid is only 21, while Lookman and Osimhen are 25 and 24 respectively. But I seriously doubt that either of them are going anywhere anytime soon. Which leaves Balogun with one final option: the United States of America. We don't have a Harry Kane or a Victor Osimhen. He would walk into our squad as our best number 9 hands down. He's faster, better on the ball, and overall just a better finisher than any of our striking options, and honestly, it's not even close. And I think he knows that. After throwing subs at England on Instagram, Balogun hopped on a plane to Orlando, Florida, where he met with US interim head coach Anthony Hudson. When asked about the meeting, Hudson told the press, "We've had dialogue. It's been an opportunity for us just to share about our program and who we are and what we do." He continued, "I hope we get the chance to speak to him again. It's been good to me. And I know a few of the guys who spoke to him as well." US soccer Twitter exploded as fans reacted to Balogun's affection for the Stars and Stripes, especially after he posted photos courtside the Magic Knicks game and made time for a photo op with the New York Yankees too. Americans all across the country are also getting involved by bombarding Flo's social media with eagles and American flags in the comment section. And the hype isn't dying down anytime soon, with fans noticing Balogun unfollowed the 3 Lions from Instagram and deleted all pictures where he was donning their jersey. And with each passing day, it seems like there's a new report of him inching closer and closer to finally making his decision. A decision that'll change his footballing career forever. And ultimately a decision that could alter the aspirations of an entire country, as Folarin Balogun and US soccer accelerate past the intersection of potential and practicality, while the rest of us witness a perfectly timed collision between 2 forces that not only want each other, but in this case, might actually need each other. And that's all I got for today. Let me know what you think of the Balogun saga in the comment section below, and do not, I repeat, do not leave this video without hitting the like button. Thanks for watching, and for more US soccer content, you can click right here. Till next time, everyone.